and gentlemen, I'm the newsman Bill Yard, and this is your Class 32 main event. And it will be rugged Rick Owens taking on the hard way Kris Charters. Kris Charters has been a constant thorn in the side of Rick Owens for what feels like the better part of a year. Instrumental in Rick Owens losing the heavyweight championship and not being able to regain it from the Northern Star Kirk Obey, the close ally of the hard way Kris Charters. Kris Charters would cost Rick the title by attacking him, delivering multiple hard ways after the match. He would cost Rick the flag versus flag match, which was the Acadian flag being defended by Kirk Obey against Rick Owens, who would be defending the flag of New Brunswick. Last month, Rick Owens, recovering from a traumatic knee injury, would face the then enforcer, Chris Lewis, in a career versus career match, with Chris Lewis passing out in a sleeper hold. Rick Owens, of course, the man whose career will now continue, but immediately upon the finish of that match, Kris Charters would come out and once again remind Rick Owens who he is and that he will not be stopped. And he's just here to make his life hell. And that led to this match being made, challenge accepted by rugged Rick Owens, and now we're going to see these two facing off. Hardway Kris Charters coming in 5'11", 190 pounds. Absolutely highlight reel flying knee strikes. So we're going to be watching for that. Keep a close eye on that. He's going to back up a little bit. He's going to find some range. He's going to look like he's lunging, and he's going to come flying in at 100 miles an hour. You might get an instant replay if it lands. Rick Owens, 6'2", 243 pounds, the larger of the two gentlemen, multiple-time NBWA heavyweight champion, a belt that Kris Charters has not held in this company. Master of the redneck bomb and the butterfly slam. Crowd not having it. Small game of chess between the two veterans. I think the bell has not rung yet, so referee Sharkey doing his best to make sure that Kris Charters stays out of the way, but he gets thrown. And then, of course, the attack from behind by the hardway Kris Charters, but we know Rick Owens is going to want this belt. He did the best that he could, asking Sharkey to step in there, but Sharkey's not an athlete. He's not trained to restrain professional wrestlers, so here we are. Rick Owens, I'm sure, did not want to see this match thrown out. He's happy to take it. And he made it very clear that he wanted to get his hands on Kris Charters. It lights up Rick Owens back with that chop. Could be a basement drop kick. Basement drop kick right on the chin. Okay, going to just be a 2 count, but that's a hard way to start your main event. Rick Owens could be knocked loopy off that one. That connected, landed. Couldn't ask for a more picture-perfect landing on that. Oh, Kris Charters taking a little bit too much time arguing with the spicy side of the ring. Rick Owens fires some shots, but Kris Charters able to take right back over with that precision striking. Oh, that was loud. Wow. Could feel that collective gasp right across the Boyce Farmers Market capacity and then some, I think, crowd. It's the sea of humanity that have been subjected to some of the hardest hits I've ever seen in my life. Wow. Oh, and Rick Owens ducks under that one, by Kris Charters responds with a big, thunderous chop of his own. Going to be happy to walk that man coast to coast and respond. Another chop lands. Kris Charters trying to make a little bit of distance and then lights up the former heavyweight champion with a kick. And then follows it up. And it's going to be the hard way Kris Charters in control of the matchup to begin. Got great control there. You can see the knee right on the side of the head. Rick Owens applying a little extra pressure as he torques back on the shoulder and elbow. Oh, Rick Owens going to be able to slip out. Takes an arm wringer. No, it stops on the top. Gives it a little love before he twists it all the way over. Switches to a hammer lock. To a headlock. Does the former heavyweight champion. Then the butterfly slam. Comes out from the champ. Doesn't go for the pin right away. Follows it up with a quick leg drop. Keeps the leg for the pinning predicament with the hook to the leg. But the hardweight Kris Charter is going to be kicking out at 2. Advantage right now to the former champion, Rick Owens. Kris Charter's making a little bit of space, but he's staying close to the ropes. Referee Sharkey taking a moment to check there. There was some stiff impacts, possibly broken noses. Kris Charter's begging off and then pulls Rick Owens when he comes in to follow up. Rick might be thinking about leaving the ring. He's also staying very close to the ropes. And Kris Charter's, of course, no shortage of things to say to the audience here in tonight's main event of Clash 32. Stiff shots in. This is a battle of striking. We saw a little exchange there with those arm wringers. They both were testing each other out. I think they decided it was a stalemate there, but I think they both think they're going to win the strikes. I was going to start by saying that maybe it's a stalemate there as well, but seemingly very evenly matched. But Rick Owens running that man coast to coast with those running knee strikes in the corner and hitting a sweet Russian leg sweep to wrap it up. Not going for the pin right away. We got a Rick chant growing in ferocity and tenacity over the Boyce Farmers Market. They want to see the stunner. They want to see this hard way Kris Charter's put down and kicked out. Rick going to get the better of that striking exchange. Whips Kris Charter's off the ropes and gets a big boot in the sternum and hits the redneck bomb. But can't follow it up. Some of these strikes I've noticed that both these men are staying down intermittently here throughout this match. That's got to be a result of the striking, all those hard chops in the corner. Both men just trying to take a minute to recover. It looks like Kris Charter might be thinking about transitioning to a heel hook. He's staying awful close to Rick. Rick responds, clubbing forearm, drives down the upstart, hard way Kris Charter's. And looks like Rick Owens is having some trouble with that knee pad, but he wasn't able to deal with it and got a gnarly basement drop kick right to the side of the dome. And then now Kris Charter's is he saw him, that Rick Owens was fidgeting with that knee pad. Now he's trying to just rip it off his body. And he's got it, that recently severely injured leg, which he had endured months of rehab, in which he had to share a cab with Big Bad LG, I might add, just to add extra trauma in there, a twist of the knife, if you will. Kris Charter's looking to do serious damage and trying to retire Rick Owens, something that Chris Lewis was unable to do last month. Referee Sharkey checking with Rick, maybe pleading with him, asking him if he wants to call this thing off right now. Man, just getting absolutely desperate. Even the pirate kid in the front row, shivering his timbers. Just no idea what to do. Rick looks like he's trying to get some feeling back in that leg, but Kris Charter has him right where he wants him. He can pick the striking ability of Kris Charter. He can pick Rick Owens apart right now. It is going to be a non-issue very quickly. And see, that knee came forward, but that heel did not come up. All of that force went straight into the back of the knee. That injured knee of rugged Rick Owens. Now is he thinking figure four? And it's going to be a figure four. You can hear Rick Owens crying out in pain there as the pressure was applied. As soon as Kris Charter's got that second leg over the top, this thing was cinched in. Is Rick going to be able to roll over and counteract the pressure? Because when you go to roll over, you add even more pressure onto that already damaged ligaments and tendons in that knee. Oh my God, I thought Rick passed out for a second. See, that shoulder was down and he was not moving. And he's got to be in tremendous pain right now. He should consider calling this thing off so that he lives to fight another day. If Kris Charters can re-injure that knee, this could be it for Rick Owens for another 6-month rehabilitation. Maybe worse because it's going to be a re-aggravated injury. Sometimes you got to think about yourself as an athlete, and not everything has to be about the fans here. The fans want to see you again at the next show. Rick is trying to roll over the hard way Kris Charters. You can see him shifting his weight back and forth, and he gets it. But he's holding on to the ropes. Sharky's going to have to break this hold because Rick, probably not even thinking, just reached out and hung on to the rope. Wow. All right, by a vote of about 200-1, this crowd is behind Rick Owens. And it looks like Rick's going to be the first to make it to his feet, but Kris Charters looks like he's lying his weight. He's holding the knee brace. Not sure if we can see that on the camera, but he's got that knee brace and he's just going to wipe out. What's the call? It's safety equipment, but there's got to be some hard plastic in there. He is just trying to end that career of Rick Owens and Sharky. He called it off. Do what you gotta do. You didn't have to knock out Sharky too. Something has got to be done here. We're gonna get, ow! Wow, hyperextension of the knee. I'm sure I saw it hyperextend when Kris Charters landed on it. It is absolute chaos, and he's gonna do it again. He's gonna follow this up again. We need Fantana out here. We need somebody who's going to be able to help. We got referee Alex en route. Security starting to make their way out. Wow. Rick Owens looks alive, but there's no telling how much damage has been done.
Disqualified Kris Charters in this match.
Referee Alex is going to get that. He's taking that knee brace back from the hard way. Kris Charters security is right in there. Going to break it up. They're going to try to get that knee brace back on the injured leg of Rick Owens. You got multiple security team members coming over, making sure that the hard way gets out of here. We're going to try to keep a camera on him. I think there's a kid over there that's about to bite off more than they can chew. Rick Owens in the ring right now. He's waving off the assistants. We got security also helping referee Sharky. NBWA official referee Sharky coming to the back there. Rick taking a minute to gather himself. They're going to try to maybe assess that leg before they get it moving again. I'm the newsman, Bill Yard. This has been Clash 32. This has been your main event. Rugged Rick Owens. Kris Charters unfortunately going to end in a no contest due to the attack of Kris Charters on Rick Owens by the knee brace. But looks like Rick is going to be walking out of here under his own power. And when that leg starts to get healed again, there's no telling what the damage is, but he's not going to be waiting too long before coming after Kris Charters. So we're definitely going to have to wait and see what goes on as this story develops. Once again, I'm the newsman, Bill Yard. Thank you so much for tuning in. It was a hell of a night, and we thank you for turning out in force here at the Boyce Farmers Market. This was a last-minute pivot when we had to have a sudden venue change, and it has been a packed house and a absolutely memorable and wild event. So thank you for bringing your energy. Thank you for liking, following our Facebook page and our YouTube channel, liking, subscribing, leaving your comments. The interactions have been amazing. And we hope to see you again at the next one.